Hey, I'm Jax, and for the past 2 weeks, I've been making corsets out of weird materials. I've also been reading a lot of comments. By the way, thank you so much. When the number goes up, it makes my brain happy. At the end of these videos, I've been asking, what should I use to make my next corset? And here's a couple of the most common suggestions. The Corset. Making a corset out of corn. I don't know how to do that. Listen, I've been thinking about this seriously, okay? At first I'm like, there's no way. There's no way I can just like sew a cob together. That's not gonna work. So then I thought, oh, maybe I can use the husk. You know, the outside. But looking at it, I'm feeling like it's a little too grainy. That's the wrong word. Stringy. That's closer to what I'm trying. It looks like it's gonna just kind of fall apart the moment I start to like try to cut it. But I am thinking about it. I'm trying. Another common one, well, it was aluminum cams. I'm working on it. You're just gonna need to give me like a couple more projects. I run off of those things. I stay up way too late, and that's what keeps me going. Also got this comment, which I really, really like, which is the cardboard box corset. Oh, it sounds so fun. Oh, I really want to do that. Should I change the premise of the video? Should I just do the cardboard? No. I'm sticking with my plan, which is this. Can you turn grass into a corset? So, I'm going to answer the age-old question, can you turn grass into a corset to make the grass set? So let's start designing. Actually, I lied. I need to go pick up the grass first. I headed off to the department store. I walked past the lumber department. I want to build a boat. I yearn for the sea. Then I found the green section, and there it was, sitting in the corner, was a roll of fake grass. So I grabbed it, brought it to my car. Now let's actually start designing the grass set. So first we gotta wrap the form in saran wrap. Cool. Okay, now let's tape up the form. Cool. Now let's start designing the grass set. We got our center front, the side, and the center back. So for this one, there's only so much that I can actually do to make it an interesting design because of the grass that I'm working with. It just kind of covers the seam. So I think what we're gonna do is do a basic corset shape, but then you notice a different construction. There's tape up here. We're gonna do straps. So we're just gonna go down the princess seam here, like so. Cool. Now that we have this designed out, let's cut it off the form. Let's switch camera angles. So now let's cut out each individual piece. So first we pin down the piece. Now we tape. Now we're gonna add our seam allowance, which is 1/2 inch. Keep it easy, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Now we cut it out. Now let's do it for the rest of the pieces. Okay, so we got our pattern here. Now it's time to actually start cutting it out of the grass. So first, I guess let's unwrap this thing. You see that like at all? Okay, so now I think probably, what do I want to do? Do I want to go vertical here? Okay, so I need to cut this out vertically. Okay, cool. So first I'm going to trace everything out, and then I'll probably take this off the table and cut it because it is big. It is the size of my table, and I have a large table. Okay, let's get to tracing. There's no way you'll be able to see that, huh? Or maybe I just cut. This is insane, man. Okay, I guess this is gonna work. Let's cut out the rest of the pattern. I feel like I'm covered in fake grass. I should probably clean this up before I continue. Cool. So, now, what do I want to do next? Let's cut out the lining. So now, let's start sewing it together. Yeah. That's the next step. There's just so much excess. It's gone everywhere. There's gonna be fake grass in this room for the next 6 months. Just for the next 6 months. Oh. Alright. Okay, so the plan is I'm just gonna do internal bone channels. Keep it simple. What's nice about this is that it's already nice and stiff from the backing, so I don't have to add any interfacing or anything like that. Just removes a step. Okay, it looks like I'm gonna need to trim a little bit of the grass so that way I can actually attach the channels. Ow. Okay. I think that's good enough for me to add some bone channels, so let's give it a shot. Okay, so now I'm just using some bias tape that I have to add in our internal bone channels. It did it. It works. Okay, so I guess let's just make the rest of the grass. This is gonna make just the biggest mess ever. I'm gonna have to be cleaning this up for months. Too late now. We've already started. Let's just get. I'm also gonna be making the lining at the same time. It just makes the process go faster. As I'm sewing here, I want to do something new in this video. I want to start a tier list. Let's go. It's not a YouTube video without a tier list. Yeah. So the criteria of this tier list is basically how easy it is to work with, if it was like easy to cut, easy to sew, and how good of a corset it actually makes. And this is 100% vibes based, the best kind of tier list, with no real rhyme or reason, just how I feel about it. So let's retroactively go through the cone. It's a solid C tier. On the annoyingness scale, it's pretty high, but like on it making an actual corset, it does a pretty good job. Bubble wrap. It gets a lot of points for being easy to work with, but it doesn't really make a great functional corset. It's a little too flimsy, so for that, it's so difficult, man. I want to put it B tier, but I also want to put it D tier. Is it just gonna go in C tier as well? I think it has to go in C tier, even though it's really fun to, like, it's really easy to work with comparatively, but it's just not really that great of a corset. So I think it has to go C tier. And now for the grass, I'm gonna give this B tier. It's fairly simple to work with. Again, it still has the same issue. You keep on sewing and sewing and sewing over and over again until eventually the stitches stay. But also, it's a little bit more flexible than the cone, and it also makes a pretty good corset. So it is a solid B tier item to make a corset with. Okay, so we got our bone channels in, so now it's time to actually put the bones into the channels. So that's what they're for. The bones and the channels. We're using spiral steel again. Let's start the process. It's very nice because this one you can't actually see the insides and like all the channels and stuff, so I can do extra marks to make my life easier. It's gonna be faster. Cool. So now let's close it up. Yay. Boo, actually. I got bad news. I kind of failed. And it wasn't really the fabric's fault. I'm just a fool. I'm sorry. So here's what happened. I wanted to do it so that way you would not see a seam and it would just be grass. And I even figured out like how to do roses out of ribbon that I was gonna put on the straps, but that was the point of failure. So here's the deal. On the material, there are vertical lines. You heard me talk about that when I was cutting it out. What I was not expecting was them to actually stop it from flipping out. I put ribbons in so that helped me flip it out. It would not move. The material kind of pushed in on itself and would not pull. So I just thought, okay, what if I just cut it off and finish the top? It kind of just kept getting worse and worse and worse from there. I put on like an edge at the bottom so that way it would kind of look nice, but the more I tried to like fix it, the worse and worse and worse and just worse it kind of got. You may be thinking, why don't I just put finish on the top as well? Well, to make it work so that way it would be nice and smooth and clean, I trimmed the top edge so that way there's less space there, so that way you can actually pull it through and it would look nice. So if I undid that seam up there, I wouldn't have enough space to actually put on the top edge, and I would just run into the bones that are inside of the corset and shatter like 20 needles. I'm a fool! Listen, for most things that I sew, a blind sense of confidence and a level 8 speed on my sewing machine, it just kind of works. But that's 9 out of 10 times, and I hit the 1 out of 10. This is what I have, okay? It doesn't look terrible, but it's really frustrating because it's not what I wanted to do. Can I do it? Yeah, but I need to take a break from this project. It's gonna go in the bin of projects that I'm gonna do later, okay? But to answer the age-old question of can you turn grass into a corset? It's yeah, you can, but I didn't because I'm a fool. So be sure to like and subscribe. Drop a comment on whatever kind of material you would like me to try next. Or do you want me to just try the grass again? And not be a fool and just do a normal finish on the corset. I just ran out of time. It's 9 o'clock on Sunday. And I post on Sundays.